November 1st, Halloween is over. That means baseball is over. World Series champs are the Boston Red Sox. My name is Kevin Holcomb.
I'm Tyler Greene.
We're here with the El Vaquero newspaper, and we're going to give you guys a recap. Week 10 of the semester. Bear with us. The show must go on. Hope you guys enjoy it. What do you got on this World Series, Tyler, to start it off?
This was a really good series. The Dodgers had to fight the entire playoffs to get to this point. They had a Game 7 in the NLCS against the Brewers, who are a really, really good team with probably the MVP, Christian Yelich, who gave them a run for their money. They won that Game 7, so they earned that right. The Red Sox, on the other hand, they kind of steamrolled people.
Absolutely.
108 wins this season, new franchise record, I believe. It's just a really, really tough team to play against.
Going into this series, the Red Sox had rolled the Astros.
And the Yankees.
Yeah, the Astros were the last team they had to play before they headed home to play the Dodgers, of course, in the World Series. And what was that, 4 days rest that they had in between the series?
3-4 days rest, so that's big for that right there. And then the Dodgers were, 2, maybe?
Yeah.
So that's, especially after a high-intensity game, was really big. So let's get into Game 1. This was played in Boston at Fenway Park. I believe the oldest park in the entire country. Start off, let's go with the Dodgers lineup. And Dave Roberts, the Dodgers manager, went with this. He went the veteran Brian Dozier hitting first, Justin Turner hitting second, David Freese in the 3-hole, Manny Machado, who was on the Orioles this season and was traded halfway through the season. So he saw a lot of the Red Sox this year already. He batted fourth. Chris Taylor got the start in center field, hitting fifth. Matt Kemp hit sixth. Kike Hernandez hit seventh. Yasiel Puig hit eighth. And Austin Barnes hit ninth. He also had 4 pinch hitters, who were Max Muncy, Yasmani Grandal, Cody Bellinger, and Jock Peterson. Kershaw started this game, so that was really big for him. And on the other side, the Red Sox, they had Mookie Betts starting, leading off, Andrew Benintendi hitting second, Stephen Pierce hitting third, J.D. Martinez hitting fourth, Xander Bogaerts hitting fifth, Rafael Devers hitting sixth. He got a start over Nunez, which is really, really surprising. Ian Kinsler hit seventh, Sandy Leon hit eighth, and Jackie Bradley Jr. hit ninth with Chris Sale on the mound. So
I think it's really important to note that both teams had their big lefties going up for the first game of the series. And honestly, they had pretty similar outings, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
You want to run us through those stats and how it went for those guys?
Yeah, let's start with Kershaw, because he's had noticed struggles in the playoffs. He went 4 innings. He gave up 7 hits and 5 earned runs. He had 5 Ks. And during the start of the game, the ERA went to 11.25. Not good. It wasn't the performance he really wanted out of that, but that's a tough lineup to play against. I'd say one of the best lineups, probably the best lineup in probably the entire baseball.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He got the loss in this game. And on the other side, Chris Sale, he went 4 innings again. Also, he gave up 5 hits, 3 earned runs. He had 7 Ks, but his ERA was 6.75. So the matchup of the aces was kind of high scoring, to be honest. Not really pitchers do like everybody thought it was going to be.
Yeah, and I sort of expected this going in the series. Down in LA, those guys like swinging for the fence, and in Boston, they're going to swing every time pretty much. It seems like 2 outs, it doesn't matter. First pitch, 2 strikes, it doesn't matter to those guys. They're pretty much free swingers, that entire Boston lineup, and it absolutely showed in the postseason.
And you talked about 2 outs. They had 5 2-out RBIs, which is huge in Game 1 to start off at home.
Absolutely, and those are all earned runs.
Yeah, and then the Dodgers had 0, so that's a big swing in their favor. Andrew Benintendi, who's noted not to hit lefties very well, they were surprised that he was in the lineup at first. He ended up going 4 for 5 with an RBI and 3 runs scored. So that was a big game for him. So that was a really Alex Cora made that right move, hitting him second in this lineup. So we go on to game two.
Good start. Good start to the World Series.
Yeah, good game. Good game.
Also important to note that with your two big lefties, like supposed to be your workhorses or your aces going into the World Series, it's important to note that only 40 out of those guys takes a real chunk out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
Makes them work a lot harder throughout the series.
Actually, speaking of the bullpen, Eduardo Nunez, he got the pinch hit. He was usually the starting third baseman for the Red Sox during the majority of the year. Known veteran, really great hit, good hitter. He came off the bench in a clutch situation to pinch hit. He goes, he hits a 3-run home run that helps basically seal the game for the Red Sox in Game 1. So that was huge on his part, and that was off that tough Dodgers bullpen. So let's go to Game 2. The big surprise here for Game 2 was that Dave Roberts actually went with the same lineup as he did in Game 1, which not a lot of people expected because of just how the outcome Game 1 turned out. And Alex Cora kind of did the same thing, but the only difference was he switched Jackie Bradley Jr. and the catcher Christian Vasquez. He switched them going 8-9. But this game was really good too. It featured David Price and Hyun-Jin Ryu. And David Price, he came in clutch for them in that game, the clinching game against the Astros.
Yeah.
That was his coming out game of the playoffs because it was noted that he had struggled badly in the playoffs and he just couldn't find it. But he went really strong that game.
And really, for the first half of the regular season, Price really struggled, but he came out really well in the beginning of the World Series.
Mm-hmm. His line was 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks, and he had a 3 ERA. Hyun-Jin Ryu, the Dodgers lefty, he went 4 2/3. He gave up 6 hits, 4 earned runs. He had 5 Ks, but had a 7.71 ERA. The big thing here was the Dodgers' first 4 hitters, had a combined 2 hits the entire game. Whereas Mookie Betts went 3 for 4, and then JD Martinez went 1 for 4 with an RBI. So that's the first 4 guys in the lineup. It's a huge difference. The Red Sox dominated that part of that lineup.
Absolutely.
And again, 2 out RBIs. The Red Sox had 2 out RBIs this game. The Dodgers only had 1. So that was a big, big story in this game as well, throughout the entire series, basically.
Yeah, the Red Sox didn't give them a break at all. Any count, any man on base, didn't matter. Red Sox are swinging.
Craig Kimbrell came in for the save. He's coming big. This big acquisition for them. He's been on that roster. He knows big situation. He came in and saved it and closed the door.
And that ends up being his only showing for his home fans in Boston.
Yeah. Then we're gonna go on to a historic Game 3.
To Game 3 we go. Going back to LA, Red Sox up to bat first. Here's their lineup. Leading off, Mookie Betts, number 2. Bogarts, number 3. Moreland, number 4. JD Martinez. 5 is Holt. 6 is Devers. 7 is Bradley. 8 Vasquez. And 9 is Porcello for the pitcher. For the Dodgers, we got Peterson leading off. Turner, number 2. Muncy, number 3. Machado cleaning it up, number 4. At the 5 hole is Bellinger. Number 6, Puig. Number 7, doing the catching, is Grandal. Number 8, Taylor. And on the mound, batting 9th, is Walker Buehler, the youngster for the Dodgers.
Rookie, right?
Rookie.
Big start, Game 3 for the rookie.
Absolutely.
That's a lot of trust to go in Game 3 down 0-2, starting a rookie in the World Series.
At home, first game back.
That's a statement game, so that's important.
He threw a good game. Walker goes 7 innings, giving up only 2 hits with 7 strikeouts. An amazing game for such a young guy, and it turns out to be one for the history books. This game ends up going 18 innings, 7 hours and 20 minutes, being the longest game in World Series history.
That's That's a long game.
It's incredible.
Especially coming back from Boston, having to travel from Boston to LA. About what, like 2 days rest, I think.
Yeah.
Like your body
travel
was
day and then
tough.
play in the evening. Yeah.
18 innings. That's 2 games. They played 2 games in one night. Without a break, really. Like without a break. So that's.
Well, luckily for the Dodgers, Buehler carried the team through most of the first game. For the Red Sox, Porcello went 4.2, giving up 3 hits and 1 run on a solo shot, a jackpot. Peterson goes yard with 2 outs, a 2-out RBI for the Dodgers. And then comes in Price, another notable one towards, I believe that was, I want to say the eighth inning. Price comes in, throws all right. He throws 2 outs, gives up 1 hit. It's just a notable appearance from Price because he had just thrown.
Game 2, he just started game 2. That's usually that's never really heard of. There's a pitcher going 2 days rest.
Yeah.
Going into a game in relief, especially a starter. Like, that just shows, like, that how badly they wanted this, how important it was. Because you go up 3-0 in a series, it's basically, like, that just means it's over because you'd have to, like, that team, the team down 3-0, you have to win 4 games in a row, and that's tough against any team to do. So
yeah, that's real tough. So, attempting to close in a 1-1 ball game, it's 1-1 from a solo shot from Jackie Bradley in the 8th off Jansen after Jansen blows a save for Buehler. So it's 1-1 going into the 9th. They throw Kimbrel for 1 inning, doesn't get it. Or excuse me, he closes the 8th for Price, who threw the first 2 outs of the 8th. So they throw Kimbrel in the 9th, 1-1. They don't do it. Tie ball game. The show goes on into the 11th, 12th, 13th, and finally the 18th inning. Some action, which tied 2-2 at this point. Some errors on both sides of the ball, scoring some runs, 1 run each.
Big.
Big.
PFPs, which are pitcher fielding practice. It's basically just pitchers having to field the ball and make a play, and those are big. There's a big play that they have to make. Another a big pitcher in this game, Nathan Eovaldi. He's supposed to be the game 4 starter for the Red Sox projected.
Yes.
He goes 6 innings?
He goes 6 innings.
90 pitches,
3 hits.
Big performance out of him.
Yeah.
But they had to use their game 4 starter, so they're up in the air who's going to start game 4.
And he's going a long way.
Yeah, but he helped he pitched his butt off basically.
He kept him in the game. Absolutely.
That's a notable effort. That's all heart right there. Coming in, throwing 6 innings out of the bullpen. And he throws 100 miles an hour, and he maintained 100 miles an hour through those 6 innings. That's not easy.
Absolutely.
That's right here. That's that hard.
Yeah,
that's how bad you want it.
So we got Wood coming in, top of the 18th inning. Wood throws 1 inning, clean inning, no damage. Into the bottom of the 9th, bottom of the second 9th.
Yeah, that's what
second game of the day for the Dodgers. In comes Max Muncy leading off.
The Rook.
The Rook has an incredible at-bat. He's been
big time.
He almost ended the game in, I believe it was the 11th inning.
With a foul ball.
A long strike foul
missed
ball.
Missed it by that much.
So Muncy steps in, puts in a good AB. I believe it was 7-pitch at-bat.
Mm-hmm. And
he walks it off. Game over. Eovaldi goes 6 innings just to give up a home run.
Walk-off home run.
No more start for you. Sorry about it. Good for you, Max Muncy.
Hey, that was a hard-fought game. Good game to watch. If you're a baseball fan, you gotta love that kind of game. That's a grinding game.
Absolutely, and the 2 young guys.
Yeah, they
carried it for the Dodgers. 1 on the bump and 1 in the box.
So if they get something out of this series, it's those guys showed up and they performed. That's what they did.
Earning their money.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to go to Game 4. Again,
the series is now 2-1.
2-1.
Boston.
It's a big swing from 3-0 to 2-1. That's really big. Because that means you're just right back into the series. You're a game away.
Absolutely.
Game 4 at Dodger Stadium. Let's start with the visiting Red Sox, their lineup. They're going Mookie Betts batting first. Andrew Benintendi hitting second. Steven Pierce hitting third, big time. J.D. Martinez, who actually rolled his ankle in Game 2 of the series. He rolled his ankle rounding second base. He got taken out Game 3 early, so this is a good sign that he's back in the starting lineup.
Yep.
Xander Bogaerts hitting fifth. Eduardo Nunez hitting 6th over Rafael Devers, which is big. Brock Holt hitting 7th. And Vasquez hitting 8th. And then Rodriguez, the pitcher, hitting 9th. That's big. Rodriguez comes in for the spot start in a World Series, which is not a really thing you do. But
after everybody just grinded it out for 7 hours and 20 minutes the day
basically
before.
the day before, they used everybody they could on both teams.
12:30 p.m. end of the game,
rough
local time.
He comes in, he gets that start. For the Dodgers, the starting lineup is David Freese leading off. Max Muncy, the hero from last night, or technically the day before, the same day.
Same day, this morning.
Gets the 2-hole. Justin Turner hitting 3rd. Machado hitting 4. Bellinger hitting 5. Puig is getting the 6-hole. Chris Taylor's 7th. Austin Barnes is 8th. And Rich Hill is rounding it out, hitting 9th. This game, it was a good pitching matchup, especially coming off of an 18-inning game.
Yeah.
They just were tired. They didn't their bodies are probably dying. Rodriguez goes 5 2/3 innings of 4-hit ball on 4 earned runs, but he had 6 Ks and a 5.68 ERA.
Mm-hmm.
And on the other side, Rich Hill goes 6 1/3 innings. He gets a 1 hit, 1 earned run on 7 Ks. He had a 1.42 ERA. But Jansen comes in for the save. He blows a save. He gives a big time bomb to Steven Pierce.
Yeah.
In that inning, tie game, and I think they gave him the lead. Either tied the game or gave him the lead, and it's just the Red Sox took the game from there. After that, they had all the momentum. Another big stat, which we've already talked about, 2-out RBIs. The Red Sox had 7 runs on 2-out RBIs, where the Dodgers only had 3. 2-out RBIs are basically the entire story of this series is just
extending innings.
Yeah,
that's what those guys are doing.
It's getting the next guy up. Just basically that was the story of the series so far. At this point, was 2-out RBIs. So the Red Sox came in clutch there. They hit when they needed to. Mitch Moreland came in for a pinch hit. Hit first pitch home run, 3-run RBI home run. That was really, really big. Steven Pierce with also the home run. Big note, JD Martinez goes 0-4, so that might be the ankle bothering him, but we'll talk about that later.
And that's a guy who you see swinging the bat all season.
Yeah, it's hot. Puig also hit a home run in this game to give them the lead to start. Big, late inning home run. He, the pitch before, brushed him inside. He had his Puig dance, all that kind of stuff. Next pitch, he goes yard. So that's really that's a good sign that the Dodgers, that means he's getting hot. So that could help.
Yeah, and that gives them 4-0 lead. That's going to be a tough one to fight back for the Red Sox,
and they just grinded it out.
They grinded.
Somehow that's a 108 win team right there. That's what they've done. They know how to win. That's the story of this season.
To Game 5, the final in LA. For the Red Sox, we got Betts leading off. Benintendi in the 2-hole. In the 3-hole, we got Pierce. JD Martinez batting 4th. Xander Bogaerts batting 5th. 6 is Holt. 7 is Devers. And 8 doing the catching is Vasquez. We have lefty on the bump for the Red Sox. We got Price. And then for the Dodgers, we have Freese leading off. Number 2, Turner. 3, Kike. Which we didn't see much of Kike.
We didn't see
some pinch hits, but he didn't get many starts.
Yeah, he big time. He was big in the Brewers series. We thought it would carry over, but I guess not. So
yeah, continuing, we got in the cleanup spot number 4, Machado. We got the 5-hole Muncy. 6 is Puig. 7 Taylor. 8 is Barnes doing the catching for Clayton Kershaw, who's in the 9-hole. And, no surprise here, seeing Kershaw at Game 5.
It's a big game.
That's their guy.
That's a game you got to win. Last game in LA, so you can go. You're going to go back to Boston if you win this game, so you get a couple of days rest. Mm-hmm. So he gets a little rest. But this game was just kind of all Red Sox, to be honest.
Absolutely. Here's the losing line for Kershaw: 7 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 5 strikeouts, 3 home runs. That's what you kind of expect out of Boston, especially in the warmth of LA.
Yeah,
the first 2 games were pretty cold, chilly evenings, and the ball doesn't like to fly too much like that. But Coming back to LA, you expect the long ball, and
you get the hot air.
Game 5 of the World Series
showed it. Yep.
Yeah, we saw it.
That's a big Kershaw. They thought was going to go with the ace. David Roberts actually kept him in, which he got a lot of criticism for because he wasn't doing very well. But he stayed with Kershaw. I don't know if you do that. I don't know if I do that. You see he's struggling. I think you could go to your bullpen. That's been pretty reliable. Your bullpen's been majority reliable for the entire series. But that's your ace, so I understand the decision there. So
Kershaw's earned it year in and year out. Understandable. For the Red Sox, price line
big.
7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts, and ends the World Series with a 1.98 ERA.
That's huge because his playoff record has just been terrible before this year. Everyone always talks about that. He always gets criticized for it, and he said, "You guys can't hold that over me anymore because I came out and I gave everything I could." He pitched 3 times in this series, which is
absolutely
in 5 games for a starter. That's really big. The fact that he came on 2 days rest again and started the game, went 7 strong. That's unheard of from really in this day and age. So then Chris Sale comes in, starter game 1. Their ace basically the entire year. He's like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna close this door on this game. We're gonna win this World Series. I'm gonna put this team on my back. I'm holding it down. Comes in, 1 inning pitched, strikes out the side, and the last out that the Dodgers made, Manny Machado, the big free agent move that they got during the All-Star break, he rode for them, but he just couldn't get it done.
Big note for the Red Sox here. Steven Pierce with 2 home runs in Game 5 of the World Series, giving him 3 RBIs in a 2-for-4 game.
And that's really big for him. He wins the MVP, the World Series MVP, rightfully so. Comes in clutch a bunch of times. He actually he's been a lifelong Red Sox fan. Man, he's been a journeyman through the entire league. Finally finds a home in Boston, comes in, win a World Series MVP. That's just...
And really, you don't see too much of him in the regular season, right? Because the injuries lead up to him showing up in the postseason, and he gets the job done.
He gets his starts, he got his opportunities, and he took advantage of them.
Absolutely.
And that's really, really big. So we're gonna the stats for the overall series for some of the key players.
Stats.
The key players. We're gonna start with the pitchers. There were 11 pitchers on the Red Sox roster, compared to 12 on the Dodgers. It was Nathan Eovaldi, who came in. He's been a reliever and a starter for them all year. Big guy, coming off Tommy John, a couple Tommy John surgeries. Comes in, gets a 1.13 ERA. Huge help for them. Craig Kimbrell, lockdown closer, their guy to go to. Ends with a 4.15 ERA, which is kind of the story of the series. Is closers not being able to
absolutely not being able to
close sometimes. David Price. Big series for him. He really he came in and shut the door with a 1.98 ERA in the series. He performed for them. He gave them everything he had, and rightfully so. He deserved that. Chris Sale comes in with a 5.4 ERA. That's surprising. Again, the aces coming in, just not being able to get the job done. I guess with high ERAs, it's just.
Yeah,
that's the story of the series.
A lot of free swingers in this lineup, so you kind of expect the ball to fly.
Coming in, we're going with the Dodgers. The Red Sox had 3 catchers instead of the Dodgers 2, which gives them extra depth in the catching position, which is really, really important. Mm-hmm. They had 7 infielders. The rookie Rafael Devers hit .234. Not bad for a rookie coming in. First World Series, not really getting splitting time in the entire year with Eduardo Nunez coming in, getting starts here and there.
And I believe 2 of those, one for sure in Game 3, the long one, super clutch pinch hit, and that's tough coming off the bench cold. Mm-hmm. Batting practice was 8 hours ago. It's tough to get a hit in that situation, and you delivered.
Eduardo Nunez, who was basically playing on one ankle along with JD Martinez the entire series. Mm-hmm. He comes in, hits 300 for the entire series. Comes in big time clutch hits. Game 1, pinch hit home run. Didn't get the start. He was upset about it, but he trusted Alex Cora's manager. Comes in clutch there. Game 3 comes in clutch. He delivers. Steven Pierce, World Series MVP, comes in, hits .333. Great clutch. Like, he had clutch at bats, big time.
3 home runs in 5 games.
Exactly. That's just like
MVP worthy.
Yeah. Mookie Betts, who is most likely going to be the AL MVP of the entire this season, he comes in, hits .217. So he kind of struggled this series, which they were probably more focused on him. They didn't want Mookie Betts to beat the Dodgers. Like, that's straight up, because he could beat the team by himself.
He had the toughest matchups for sure. And I think one huge notable thing for me personally, a college student, Mookie Betts stole us a taco in his first I believe it was a leadoff walk.
It was the first game, first at bat.
Oh, no, it was a hit to right field. It gets on first pitch steals off Kershaw, and steal a base, steal a taco. Thank you very much, Mookie Betts.
Thanks, Taco Bell. Clutch. JD Martinez, who basically him and Mookie Betts are right there for MVP this year again. He comes in, hits .278. It's pretty good with a guy with one ankle who rose his ankle in game 1 or 2, and he just can't handle it. Like, he just basically playing on one ankle also. Mm-hmm. That's big to come in and hit .278 with a couple clutch home runs and doubles and all that. So the Red Sox, they performed basically.
Absolutely, as you expect them. They had the highest payroll in baseball, coming off 108 wins in the regular season, kind of rolling through the first 2 series, they rolled through the Yankees, which everybody thought was going to be a good series. Mm-hmm. They go into game 3 and actually score 16 runs on the New York Yankees. Yeah, and then they have to play the Houston Astros, who I think is the second best team in baseball. Reigning World Series champions. Yeah. Same lineup, basically. It's same rotation, one of the toughest rotations in the entire league. And the Red Sox get the job done. Mm-hmm. Moving on to the Dodgers. For the bullpen, we have Pedro Baez. He did really good, in my opinion. He came in big because they've known he struggled. Yeah. Last year he struggled. They just couldn't trust him. He comes in, shuts the door basically. Yeah. So that's big for him. Yeah, he pitched to a 2.45 ERA in the postseason, that's good for a bullpen guy. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of tough situations there. The other notable guy in the bullpen, Kenley Jansen, kind of a disappointment here. Gave up that bomb in the long one after relieving Buehler, or trying to close for Buehler, I should say. In game 6.0 ERA, that's can't do that. Yeah, that's not going to do it in the postseason. Especially if you're their lockdown guy, like the closer, you got to end that workhorse. Game. Yeah, basically. Yeah, you're the workhorse for Los Angeles, and this year it just wasn't all there. Starting guys for the Dodgers, we have the old veteran Clayton Kershaw with that long game 5. He pitched to a 7.36 ERA. The game 1 wasn't too good for him either, but overall, he wasn't bad. He actually got a pinch hit in the long one in game 3, 18th inning. And 18th inning, but I think it was the 16th he got a pinch hit. That's how you know it's a long game, when you have to have your pitchers hit. Absolutely. And the young gun for the Dodgers, Walker Buehler, allows no runs in the whole postseason. ERA, big, 7 innings, just one, he gets that start, and he shut that down. Absolutely, lights out. Notable catcher for the Dodgers here. Yasmani Grandal batted for a 200, which that's all right for a catcher. Grandal usually struggles on the defense, but he didn't do as bad as he did in that Brewers series. As bad as everybody thought. Everybody thought Yasmani Grandal can't do anything in this entire playoffs because of how bad his struggles were in the Brewers series. And struggling in the series before the World Series, you're gonna be on your toes, and it was good for him to prove he could do it under pressure. For the infielders, David Freese batting .417, and this guy he didn't really pop up much, nothing spectacular. I believe he had a home run. Kind of a small trade that they got towards the deadline. Yeah. Not really a big name guy, but in the postseason he just seems to come in clutch. It's just he's done it time and time again, so that's good. That was a good pickup for them, especially going into the playoffs. Absolutely, so he was big for them. And the superstar for the Dodgers, Manny Machado, who they picked up late as well. He bats for a .185 in the World Series. And a notable one for this guy, he was getting booed a lot. A lot in the visiting places. But that was for the Brewers in both first 2 games in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And what was his comment? He said you're always gonna boo the champ, right? Or something along those lines.
You can't say that and hit .185. You gotta perform if you're gonna say comments like that. It's just not a great series for him. And then he's going into free agency, probably one of the biggest free agents this entire offseason.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
and you expect a big contract there. He's absolutely got world class talent, but just kind of
didn't perform basically.
Kind of didn't show up.
Yeah.
Max Muncy, the rookie, walking off the longest game in World Series history, the first walk-off home run in a World Series game
for the Dodgers since 1988, which was Kirk Gibson, the crippled Kirk Gibson with here off Dennis Eckersley. Just that's big especially from a rookie. He did well this series, 235.
235 for the young guy, that's incredible. Good for you. And for the outfield, everybody's favorite or everybody's hated. For me, I'm not a huge fan of him, but world class talent. You got Puig batting .25 in the postseason, not bad.
Had a couple big home runs. Had good spots where they needed him to, and he performed. So not bad.
Yeah, he carried his weight. He absolutely carried his weight for the Dodgers this whole season.
Big thing here though, Cody Bellinger and Jock Peterson both hit under .100 for that entire series. Bellinger hitting .063 and Jock Peterson hitting .083. From those guys, that's you got to be better. Especially Cody Bellinger, he's been their guy all year. He's been starting. Huge rookie season last year, All-Star. You gotta hit over 100. Yeah,
and you play outfield. Your job's to hit home runs.
Your job's to hit and get on base. You're fast. You just gotta you gotta do damage, and it didn't happen, I guess. What do you think they could have changed to change the outcome? You think?
I think for the Dodgers, they had not too bad approaches in the World Series. They were pitched a lot tougher when they played the Brewers. Mm-hmm. But with all that aside, I believe the bullpen, could have sharpened up their tried and true guys. Kind of they didn't show up. They didn't have it all there for Dave Roberts, and I think he was kind of iffy on the young guys in the bullpen. We got Baez and Urias.
He was hot. They were both hot. He didn't.
Yeah,
he didn't go to them as much as he should have, I think, or he shouldn't have. He didn't leave them in as much as he should have.
Yeah, and it's the World Series. Baseball kind of flows, and you just got to run with who's hot at the right time. And
he just didn't do that, I guess.
Yeah, he's he's a fan of the matchup, and that didn't quite work out for him because
analytical guy. They'll do this matchup. I like this one more than this guy's rolling. I want him to stand. Which is the old-fashioned version of baseball versus new. Got a lot of criticism for it. Got people were just saying bad stuff about him. But he also helped them lead to the World Series. So I wouldn't.
Yeah, absolutely. And the National League plays a little different than the American League. Yeah. The American League are usually a little higher scoring games because they got all 9 guys in the lineup with that DH, and I think it kind of showed that matchups don't really affect the guys in the AL as much as the guys in the NL. But Dave Roberts did all he could, and congrats to you, back-to-back showings. But tough. LA lost again.
Don't worry, the Rangers know how you feel. It's gonna be okay. We're all right. You'll be all right. You'll probably get back there soon. You got a really good core. You got really good guys. You'll probably pick up some free agents. So I expect some success from them in the near future. They still got their core in. The Red Sox, managed by first-year manager Alex Cora, former player, really big for him. I think they played all their pieces right, basically. He chose this entire postseason. He has made the right decision at the right time, and it's worked out. Basically, it seemed like every single time it worked out for him.
Yeah, that's tough for a first time. Especially his first time showing there and because managing. It's
a lot different playing in a World Series, which he's done, winning a World Series, which he's done. But managing one, that's a completely different side of the coin. That's tough to do. You gotta look at whole picture thing. You gotta go bullpen. You gotta go start. Who am I gonna start? Who's gonna be in the lineup? Who can I come off the bench? Who do I trust to come off the bench?
And playing those last 3 games in LA, that's huge.
Because
you got work with the pinch hitter because now your pitcher has to bat.
Which is that's a big thing.
And not doing that all season.
They have to decide whether they want JD Martinez in the outfield or like come off the bench, because JD Martinez is basically like he DH for them a lot of the year because his defense isn't as strong. So they had him start. That's a big time decision for them.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't really come into play, so that's smart on his part. But staying with like game one, I remember just Benintendi. Nobody thought Benintendi was going to start game one because it's notable he struggles against lefties. And you have one of the best lefties in the game starting for the Dodgers, and he comes in, throws 4 for 5 in that game one. And so just that's kind of like that summarized like how his Alex Cora's postseason went. He just went with the right guys at the right time, and it came in and won the Red Sox World Series. So that's 4 in the past, like I think 11 years.
Yeah, I can't recall.
04, 07, 13.
No, I'm not a big Red Sox fan myself. I wish somebody else would have done it, but
it was 4.
This year they were the best in baseball. I'll give it to them.
They won 2004, 2007, I believe, 2013, and 2018. So they had the Doug Boat celebration yesterday.
Yeah.
That's big for them. The trophy actually got hit. Somebody threw a can onto the Doug Boat, hit the trophy, so it kind of bent it. So I'm sure they'll fix that. But
notable for the World Series.
But I think it was a good series overall.
Absolutely.
But 2 great teams. They grinded it out. They were tough games. Wasn't really a blowout, which I'm really glad to see. Kind of high scoring, which is always nice because people like
exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting. That's more exciting than a pitcher duel if you're like more not really a avid fan. But I don't really have any complaints. I was going for the Red Sox personally because I have my favorite teams in the AL, so I wanted the AL to win.
Yeah.
So
for me, I definitely favored the Red Sox because 108 wins. You kind of expect that team to win. How they play, like they're always lively. They're getting hits early.
Big energy guys.
They scored first, and I'm sorry when they scored first, they won 80% of their games.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
that's just big.
That happened 3 out of the 5 games.
Yeah, so
that's incredible.
That's tough to do against the other some of the best pitchers in the entire world. It's just.
And the Dodgers did all they could. They threw the young guy who gave them, I think, the best performance out of the start.
Yeah, but Red Sox just had it. They had it this year. I'm curious about what's going to happen next year with all the free agent moves and all that kind of stuff.
One huge move I'd like to note on before we get you guys continuing on your day here is Eovaldi is going to have an absolutely massive contract next year, in my opinion. What do you think?
I think he can. I think he will. Coming off that World Series, showing what he could do, had a great season.
And he's a big time reliever. You know, throwing 100s you're gonna
come in start if he needs to.
You're gonna throw 100
miles an hour
for 6 innings. 98 to 100.
That's really tough with good breaking ball, good stuff.
The only thing that's going to keep that guy out of a multi-million-dollar contract is going to be the 2 Tommy John surgeries.
But I think he proved that doesn't matter for him anymore.
Yeah, and he can do it. He's ready to go.
Yeah,
absolutely. If you guys like what you saw, go ahead and follow us on Snapchat at lvac.gcc, on Instagram at l.vacarrow.gcc.
Follow us on Facebook at GCC El Vaquero. Follow us on Twitter at GCC_LVAC. See you guys.
Have a good one.